Will Patrick Roy be back in the NHL next season? This past season, he led the Quebec Remparts to the QMJHL Championship. So is he ready to make a return to the big leagues? Well, Patrick Roy did not leave in the best possible fashion. He left right in the middle of August in 2016, forcing the Colorado Avalanche to find a replacement. Now, I'll be fair, Colorado has won a Stanley Cup since then, and maybe it was for the greater good. But that also could deter some NHL franchises from giving this guy an opportunity, because will he quit on them if he doesn't get the power that he wants? With the Avalanche, he wanted far more freedom when it came to roster construction, and they were not willing to give him that. This is what insider Pierre LeBrun had to say about Patrick Roy in his current situation. Patrick Roy recently changed representation. He's now with veteran agent Gil Scott, which I think kind of signals as well if he wants to take another swing at this, whether there's an NHL future for him. There are openings with the New York Rangers and Washington Capitals in particular that could be interesting. We'll see where that goes with Patrick Roy. Patrick Roy coached for 3 full seasons in the NHL. In 246 games played, he had 130 wins, 92 losses, 24 overtime losses for 284 points. His best season as a coach was the 2013-14 season, where the Avalanche went 52 wins, 22 losses, 8 overtime losses for 112 points. The 2 following seasons, he had a 90 and 82 point campaign. Roy has also won the Jack Adams Award as the best coach in the NHL during his first season. But is he the guy that's going to take you over the top? He has been coaching the Remparts since 2018, and there were a few years where the Remparts weren't an amazing team. But I wouldn't say that's an indication Patrick Roy can't coach. I think that was more to do with the talent on the ice. Looking at possible destinations, as mentioned in a few places like the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the New York Rangers, the Washington Capitals. Toronto, for him, I don't think would make much sense. Sheldon Keefe's future is a little bit in doubt. He could return, but with a new GM usually comes a new head coach. Sure, there is a lot of talent in Toronto, but would the upstairs meddling from MSLE deter him from taking that job? As for the Columbus Blue Jackets, would he be wanting to put himself in a situation where the team is rebuilding? I don't think Roy is the type of coach with his temperament you bring in for a rebuild. The other two might make a bit more sense. The New York Rangers are a talented team, but they do have some contracts they need to address this offseason. But they still have loads of skill on this roster and will most likely be back in the playoff picture next season. Could Roy help these young players get to that next level? And there's also the factor that he would be going into a situation where they have a franchise goalie. And I think Roy, more than anybody else, would appreciate having one of the best goaltenders in the league. And as for the Washington Capitals, there's some aspects of that roster that I would love to be a part of. I know Ovechkin's getting older, but he's still producing at a good clip. You still have other quality forwards like Kuznetsov and Strome. On the back end, you still have Carlson, the guy they brought in, Sandin. And then in goal, while his numbers weren't blowing anyone away last year, Darcy Kempfer was an adequate goalie that has proven if you have a decent enough team around him can win a Stanley Cup. Quite frankly, the situation that would be ideal for him would be New York. There's far more pieces to be competitive now, and with how passionate Roy is, that might be the best situation, and I don't believe the New York market would be too big for somebody like Patrick Roy. This obviously isn't a sure thing. Some teams might be completely opposed to bringing Patrick Roy due to the way he left the Avalanche back in the day, but I think the Rangers overall could probably be the best fit for Roy and what he wants to accomplish as a head coach. I would love to know your thoughts on this. Should Patrick Roy be coaching in the NHL? Do you think it'd be smart to bring him in? Or do you think he doesn't have the right temperament for the job? I'm Captain Paul. I'll see you in the next one.